Friday morning. And that means it's time for the first federal program on WROI Giant FM. And streaming live on the First Federal Facebook page.
It is a beautiful Friday morning, the last Friday of the year, and temperatures are finally starting to reflect wintertime. And we're joined this morning for the First Federal program by Tanner Lee. Good morning, Tanner.
Morning, Paul. Yes, the temperatures are dropping a little bit, but still no snow.
No, well, it did snow a little bit last night. But of course, it was too warm. The ground was too warm for it to stick.
Okay.
But yeah, we're sitting there, and I'm flipping. I know you'll kill me for this one. TikTok.
Yeah.
But I found an old Vine channel, and I love Vine, so I'm sitting there scrolling
There's a
through
blast
those.
from the past.
Yes. Yeah. And all of a sudden, my oldest goes, "It's snowy." And I'm like, "What?"
Yeah. Well, we didn't get a lot of snow in December, so.
No. Now I'm seeing reports that mid-January into February we're supposed to see that cold blast and some snow, but
It's coming eventually.
Yeah.
We're not going to get that lucky.
no.
Because I know we've talked about, I know you and I are in the same camp here. Around Christmas time, it's fine if it snows. The rest of the year, we're good if it doesn't snow at all.
Yep. It can start snowing the 23rd, 24th, and be gone by the 2nd of January, and I'm golden.
Yep. Right there with you. But hope you had a good Christmas. Hope everybody had a good Christmas out there.
Yes.
So it's come and gone yet again.
Yeah.
So, but New Year's coming up. New Year's Eve's on Sunday. And
Mm-hmm.
New Year's Day is on Monday, of course.
Yes.
So any New Year's Eve plans or any traditions in your family that you guys do?
Well, this year's a little different because the wife now works overnights and she's got to work New Year's Eve. So probably just sit and watch the ball drop with the
Take
kids.
it pretty easy?
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
No.
And I don't think we have too many exciting plans either. Stacey Wilson's our guest this morning, mortgage loan originator for us at First Federal Savings Bank. Any big New Year's Eve plans for you?
Probably just go to dinner.
Hey,
Nothing.
that's fun.
Dinner's fine.
Yeah.
Nothing exciting.
Will you make it up to watch the ball drop?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Not that that's a priority, but
Right.
it's
but-
just you have to. You
Yeah.
have to bring in the tradition.
Right.
New Year with your kids. And
Right. Yeah. Good way to kick off 2024. It's still weird to say 2024.
It
But
is.
Yeah, I know. I started working on some stuff that was reflecting 2024, and I'm going, man, this is weird.
yeah. But here we are. Another
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Another year. Well, I got some trivia that is related to New Year's Eve.
All right.
I want to know how many versions of the Times Square New Year's Eve ball has there been to date?
Oof.
I'll give you 4 choices here. And if it helps you, it was constructed in 1907. If that helps you.
116 years ago.
Is it A, 3 versions, B, 5 versions, C, 7 versions, D, 9 versions?
Ooh.
So I'll give you the whole show to think about.
Yeah, those are not the type of numbers I was expecting.
Yes. Yeah. So
Ooh.
would you, if you could, would you go to the ball drop in New York?
You know, it is on my bucket
Is it?
list.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'd probably not be anywhere near Times Square
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
wouldn't get there the 22nd and stand it, or the 29th
Right.
and stand in line like everybody
No.
else does. I'm not a fan of having to hack things so that you can go to the bathroom while you're in line.
No,
Not a fan of that.
I've been in New York a couple times. I don't know if I would do I would definitely not do Times Square for the New Year's Eve drop. I'd probably do New York, but not Times Square.
Yeah. I think I'll rent a hotel somewhere and then just watch it drop
Yeah.
outside the window.
Yeah, that'd be fun. So, well, hopefully you can get that crossed off your bucket list one of these days.
Cool.
Got some sports to go over, and I know Johnny did a good job covering all the local sports. There's a bunch of local sports going on. You know, the Rochester Zebra, Lady Zebras, and the Boys Zebra basketball teams have tournaments going on, so good luck to them today and over the weekend. I know a lot of other local sports. It's that time of year. It's Christmas break. Some tournaments going on, invitationals. Everybody gearing up for the conference season right around, whether it's basketball, swimming, wrestling. Bowling season's actually starting postseason play, swimming, so it's a busy time of year.
It is.
Busy time of year. Too busy for me to go over everything. It would take up the half hour.
Yeah,
that
we have to start at like 6:30 to make sure we got all of that.
Yes, but good luck to everybody that is competing today, and over the upcoming weekend. I do have some college games to go over real quick and some NFL. College basketball, a lot of teams in action. Actually, pretty much every team in Indiana in action either tonight, tomorrow, or Sunday. Purdue's in action tonight. They host Eastern Kentucky. That's at 7 o'clock on the Big Ten Network. Purdue's 29.5-point favorites, 11-1 record. Eastern Kentucky's got 4-8 record. So hopefully Purdue shouldn't have too many problems.
Yeah.
Before Big Ten play starts next week, conference play. So it's time to strap up and I want to say the road games begin, but Purdue's played a pretty tough non-conference schedule. So.
Yes.
Indiana plays tonight. They host Kennesaw State, who's 9-4. Indiana's 9-3. Indiana's a 12.5-point favorite. That game's at 6 o'clock, but it's not televised, which is kind of hard to believe. There's so many TV networks anymore. You'd think somebody would have picked up that game.
Big Ten Plus.
Big Ten Plus, okay. That's a Big Ten Plus,
All right.
which that is not a free channel. You have to pay $9.99 for that.
Yeah.
I have done that. I did that earlier this year to watch the Purdue game, and then I canceled it the next day.
That's the way to do it.
It was my one-time use. So, Butler is in action on Sunday. They have a 10-3 record. They travel to St. John's, who's 8-4, so they're starting their conference play, Big East play. That's Sunday night, 8:30 on Fox Sports 1. Notre Dame's off to a rough start, 5-7 record. They host Virginia, who's 10-2 tomorrow at noon on the ACC network. And Notre Dame's football team has their bowl game tomorrow against Oregon State. It's at, today at 2 o'clock. I'm thinking today's Thursday for some reason. It's 2 o'clock today. The Sun Bowl against Oregon State. Notre Dame's a 6-point favorite in that. And then Indiana State. I don't give them a shout out too often on the program, but they are 11-1 this year. They travel to Michigan State, who's 7-5. That game's tomorrow at 2 o'clock on Fox Sports 1. What's neat about this is the first time they've met up since the 1979 NCAA championship game with Larry Bird and Magic Johnson.
Wow.
So, at one time, that was the most popular college basketball game.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's pretty neat. I figured they had met up sometime.
Right.
Since 79 to 2023, but they haven't. So, that should be a good game tomorrow up in East Lansing. NFL, Colts really need a win this week if they want to make the playoffs. Congratulations to your Cleveland Browns, Paul.
Yeah.
Winning last night, clinching a playoff spot. Heck of a season they've had.
Yes, indeed. Especially with these injuries.
Yeah,
I mean, every game somebody's getting injured.
Next man up, and they have been doing a good job and finding ways to win. So the Colts are looking to try to get into the playoffs, whether it's winning the AFC South, which is a 3-way tie right now between the Jaguars and the Texans, but the Jaguars have all the tiebreakers, or getting into the wild card. So they lost to the Falcons, so they're 8-7, and they host Las Vegas Raiders, which got a Raiders fan right here to my right. And of course, as a Bronco fan, I do not care for the Raiders. So, but the Raiders need a win too. They're 7-8. They're still not out of the playoff hunt. There's a lot of crazy things that can happen.
That's right.
That game's at Sunday at 1 o'clock on CBS, but it's also right here
Yep.
on WROI.
Pre-game will start at noon, and then the game, and then post-game even afterwards.
Are you going to that game with James?
Which one is it?
The Raiders Colts on Sunday?
No, I'm not.
Okay. I know you have in the past in Indianapolis, so that's fine.
Yes. I don't know.
Yeah.
You never know.
You never know. Something
Could.
could pop up.
It's only Friday.
It is only Friday.
Yeah.
Bears in action. They got a win over the Cardinals last week, so they're 6-9. They host the Falcons, who are 7-8. Another team fighting for a playoff spot. That game's also Sunday at 1 o'clock on CBS. So here we are again, where you have that problem locally with Bears Colts, same time, same channel.
Yep.
But Paul
That's
knows
why you
the
listen
solution.
to the Colts here and watch the Bears on TV.
Yeah, I don't know which game will be airing. I didn't
I
check
don't know.
that out. So
I don't know.
I think typically they do show the Bears over the Colts here because I think the CBS station's from South Bend. I could be way wrong there, but in the past I know that's been correct. But a lot of happenings around the NFL, including my Broncos saying pretty much goodbye to what they were hoping was a franchise quarterback and benching them for the last 2 games of the season, even though they're technically not in the playoff race. They have to have about 10 things go their way. They're going to eat a lot of dead money. But
Seems to be a trend. Benching franchise quarterbacks.
It has been, and it's hard to find a good quarterback nowadays.
Yeah.
So if you can look into one, you need to lock him down. So we'll see what happens with that situation. But it'll be an interesting weekend in the NFL, like always. Got a few tidbits here this morning, Paul. On this day in 1845, Texas was admitted as the 28th state of the Union.
Okay.
I thought it was older than that for some reason. I don't know why. But on this day in 1862, the bowling ball was invented.
Ooh.
That's older than I thought. I figured
Yeah.
that probably came around in the 1900s. But
Imagine being the guy to invent that.
yeah, he probably did pretty well for himself.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting one. On this day in 1965, CBS purchased the NFL TV rights for the 1966 through 68 season. The price per year was $18.8 million, which was a lot of money in 1965. It still is. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Can you guess how much those TV rights are annually now for CBS?
Closer to 100.
Try 2.1 billion
Ooh.
Wow.
per year.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable.
Yeah. So that had been like a commercial in the Super Bowl now.
Probably not too far off in some cases. So it's just it's unbelievable. The amounts of money that TV is for sports brings in. I mean,
Yeah.
crazy. And on this day in 1982, Paul Bear Bryant, one of the more famous college football coaches, ended his career with the University of Alabama with 323 wins.
Okay.
So it was a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Only 2 days today, Paul.
All
Today
right.
is TikTok Day.
Not the app.
Not the app.
No.
It's actually, it had a picture of a clock on it, so I looked it up. It's the meaning to work through your to-do list and finish any odd job so that you can leave your worries behind and focus on the future. So with the year coming up and the
Yeah.
year starting, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Pretty fitting. And it's also National Pepper Pot Day.
Mm. All right.
Yes,
What is that?
Pepper pot, so it's pretty much,
Soup. Of some
it's a
sort.
soup or just cooking anything that involves peppers, cooking in a pot. Now, there's weird days, Stacey.
Yeah.
Every Friday, there's some odd days I'm talking
There-
about.
there
That
are.
takes the cake
But
for me.
those are the only two on the website today, so kind of disappointing ones. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh,
I think they ran out.
they probably did.
It's end of year.
End of year, kind of just.
Yeah. We'll see next Friday. We'll probably have a huge list.
Yeah, especially with it being the first Friday of the year.
Right. Well, we want to give some flowers to everybody here at WROI for another great year, the first federal radio show. We appreciate all your help and your partnership, and
Yeah, no problem.
looking forward to kicking off what we believe is the 30th year
Yeah.
of the show next week.
That's
We
what-
believe it started in '94, so
Sounds about right.
yeah. So that's gonna be fun. So
Yeah.
stay tuned. Maybe you'll hear some new things
Yeah,
taking us
right.
into the show next Friday.
You never know.
And I want to give flowers to each of myself, Todd, and Stacey's first federal family members for another great year at the bank. So we're lucky to work for a great company that does a lot for our communities. And it's a team effort every day for
Mhm.
us, whether it's on the deposit side, or the mortgage side, or the commercial side, or financial services side, or insurance services side. So we are a full service bank.
Yeah.
So it's a complete team effort. And it's been another fun year, and looking forward to an even better 2024. Money news. Positive day for the Dow yesterday.
Yeah.
It closed up 53 point, can't read my writing, I think that's 58 points yesterday. At 37,710.10, closing in on a record. Year to date, it's up 13.77%. For the fourth quarter, it's up 12.54%, and in December so far, it's 4.89%. So treating in the right direction. I like to see
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
So-
Yes, we do.
You know what Mr. Dick Belcher always said when he was talking about, we got to keep an eye on it today. It's either going to go up or it's going to go down. So, First Federal today, we are open from 8:30 to 5, and tomorrow we're open from 8:30 to noon. We will be closed on Monday in observation for New Year's Day, but we'll be back open on Tuesday on the 2nd with regular bank hours. Of course, if you need some cash, our ATMs are available 24/7. If you're traveling over the weekend and you're in an area that doesn't have a First Federal ATM, we're part of the MoneyPass network. Just go to moneypass.com. See what other ATM in that area is part of the MoneyPass network. You can use the ATM, not get charged a surcharge for it. So you can still get money whenever you need it.
Oh yeah.
If you need to do any transactions or anything like that, you can download the First Federal Savings Bank app if you haven't already. Whether you have Android or Apple, it's free to download, and you can deposit checks, you can make transactions, person-to-person payment through Zelle, which I still owe you for the trivia question.
Don't worry about it.
And all kinds of neat things there on the app. We're still running a 10-month CD special at a
Yes.
5.10% annual percentage yield. So come in and one of our tellers will be happy to set you up with that today. Still got some mortgage specials going on, but Stacey Wilson and I will talk about that in more detail here in a bit, so I'll save that for my interview with her. We offer Simply Free checking accounts and Simply Free business checking accounts. When you open up a new checking account, you get a free gift. And right now, we are still offering that throw blanket I brought in. Was that 2 weeks ago? Or was that last week?
That was last week.
It feels like it was a month ago. But we're still offering the throw blanket. It's a really nice blanket, really warm. Got a cool red and black pattern to it. So we're offering that for a few more weeks, and then we'll get the first cycle going for 2024. Offer commercial lending for businesses. Contact Lenny Breeden for more information. The direct line is 574-223-1716. And if you're thinking about retiring, wanting to check on your 401k, get a 401k started, IRA, those types of things, contact Mark Bluewell or Brian Bell from the Financial Services Department for more information. They can help you out. Their direct line is 574-223-1705. And you can like us on Facebook, follow us on X and Instagram at FF Banking, like us on LinkedIn, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you keep up with the latest going on at First Federal Savings Bank. And whether it's product related or close to the First Federal family member, you're not missing out on anything. We're the only locally owned bank in Fulton County. We don't want to be the biggest bank, just the best. Borrowers must meet underwriting guidelines. We are FDIC insured and an equal housing lender. Our NMLS number 399927.
And that makes us legal.
Makes us legal and ready for the fun part of the program with our guest, one of our experienced mortgage loan originators at First Federal Savings Bank, Stacey Wilson. Morning, Stacey.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Yes. So I know you've been on the program before, and you're pretty well known around the area, of course. But for anybody maybe out there watching on Facebook Live or listening that's not familiar with your background, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Well, I actually just celebrated my 21st anniversary with First
Yes,
Federal.
congratulations.
Thank you. I started on Friday the 13th.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, fun fact there. So, 21 years, I have not done mortgage origination the whole 21 years. I was actually on the opposite side, which I think is a great tool. I was in asset recovery, so I managed bankruptcies, foreclosures, workouts, which a lot of people are like, oh, that's not fun. But actually, we did a ton of workouts at keeping people in their house, and that's our main objective.
It's rewarding.
And the girls in that department that handle that are very good at their job, and so I just wanted to do something a little bit different, and decided to come to the origination side. And I feel like my background gives a little bit more help with those purchasing at least their first home, or maybe aren't in an ideal credit situation, to help them out in that end. So this will be, I actually started origination on the 1st of January, so this will be the start of my 4th year.
4th year, okay. I couldn't remember if it was 3 or 4. 4 years now.
Yes.
4 years. And what's been the most rewarding part of being a mortgage loan originator in those 4 years?
It's definitely the customers that I have met and actually have become friends with, and actually 2 of our First Federal family members are actually former customers of mine. So I think that's pretty
cool.
neat.
Yep.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot that some of the people I've met, I actually came back and said, oh hey, you're in this arena of your career, we're hiring for that, and both of them were hired.
Great.
And I see a lot of my customers at games, and we'll text each other back and forth and say, hey, how are you? So
Great.
that's the best part.
Yeah. And you're talking about your background helping with first-time home buyers. We got a pretty nice premier first-time home buyer loan program, which can help first-time buyers get into homes.
We do. We have so many programs. That's the great thing. And the Premier First Time Home Buyer Program, I do like that one. If you are looking for a no PMI situation, that's a great one. We can help with any loan, we can help with your closing cost. But this one specifically, if you are wanting, if you haven't, so just to give a little bit of background, some people think first-time home buyer is, this is the first house they've ever
Right.
bought, which it really means that you haven't had a house titled in your name in the past 3 years. So if you haven't had a house in your name in the past 3 years, at least one borrower on the application has to be a first-time home buyer, and then we can use that program. So it has to be your primary home, and it cannot be a manufactured home, but the little is 5% down, no PMI.
And what's PMI? If somebody out there's hearing that and like, I'm not sure what that is.
Right, that's a great question. So if you don't put down 20%, then you have to pay a monthly insurance payment that insures the bank against default, not against you, but that it doesn't insure you, that insures the bank.
Mm-hmm.
So typically, with the Premier First Time Home Buyer Program, sometimes customers come in and they're like, this is the program I want to do, and then when you get into it and you look at their situation, there's a lot of factors involved in there, and sometimes that may not be the best program for them.
Right.
Sometimes it's a different program, but that's the great thing about First Federal having so many loan options is you may come in thinking, I want to do the Premier First Time Home Buyer, or I want to do an FHA or USDA loan, or just a conventional loan, and it all depends upon the rates and that person's exact situation.
And I gotta think from an outsider perspective, that's gotta be part of the fun of the job too, because everybody's circumstances are different.
It is, and some people will come in and say, oh, well, my brother just bought a house and this is what they did, and okay, that's great, but we want to do what's best for you.
Right.
So that is the good part. Sometimes it can be overwhelming.
Sure.
But that's the part of our job, is just saying, hey, let's look at each program separately. That way they can make the most educated decision for themselves.
Right. Earlier I teased during the first federal statement portion of the show that we have some specials going on.
We have a lot of specials going on.
Yes, we do.
And I'm so thankful to AJ Bazo
Yeah.
and the First Federal team for allowing those specials to happen, because right now the market is doing better,
Mm-hmm.
but it was getting up there.
Right.
I was a little nervous about that, but yeah, we have several specials going on. Just to highlight some, so a purchase or refi, 7/6 ARM. So again, with an ARM, people don't really understand what that is, but that just means that it's fixed for the first 7 years. And then starting the 8th year, it will adjust based upon the market. So,
Adjustable rate mortgage.
yes. So we have that 7/6 adjustable rate purchase and refi special. We have a jumbo. So a jumbo is anything, I believe it's $726,200. A 30-year fixed for that. We have a closed-end second mortgage, which is great for those with first mortgages and that they don't want an open line of credit.
Yeah.
And so we were talking about, what's the difference? A lot of people don't understand the difference between a home equity line of credit
Yes.
and a second mortgage.
Right.
Well, essentially they're both second mortgages. Just the open line of credit allows you to, access that money for 10 years whenever you need it.
Mm-hmm.
So that balance can go up and down, and if you have a set limit, then you can access up to that limit, kind of like a credit card, if you
Right.
will,
Right.
and it's interest only. The closed-end second, we're giving you that cash 3 days after closing.
Mhm.
So you can use that for what you want, and then you're paying principal and interest payments, and that's going to be paid off on a fixed time period.
Yes, and we got a special going on the closing second mortgage right now too.
Yes, and then the lender credit, that's a big one right now. That's a lot of these are until February 29th, so you don't have to hurry out tomorrow, but you've got some time. $750 off credit for any loan amounts $200,000 or less. $1,250 credit for loan amounts above $200,000 and a penny.
And when we're saying lender credit, we're talking about saving on closing costs.
Closing costs, right? And those have to be sellable to Freddie Mac or Federal Home Loan Bank.
And for anybody out there wondering why is that a big deal? Why? I mean, you hear, okay, saving on closing costs, but that's a pretty good deal.
It's a very good deal. Yes. It's a very good deal just because any money that we can keep in your pocket helps.
Exactly.
Especially during these times.
Yes.
So.
Yes. So, well, and you were talking a little bit about this. We're speaking with First Federal Mortgage Loan Originator Stacey Wilson this morning. You're speaking about the rate environment, and we are seeing it starting to trend in the direction that we like to see a trend going into 2024. But there has been time in 2023 it hasn't been the best environment.
Yeah.
And that's why we've had these specials, luckily, and some other things to help offset that a little bit. What, as a mortgage loan originator, how do you what's your strategy when it comes to?
Well, strategy, I can tell you, as my Ball State professor, my econ professor could probably attest to, I have no strategy.
Yeah.
But what I can say, a lot of people do ask that question also.
Yeah.
They say, well, what do you foresee happening with the rates?
Right.
Well, let me get my
crystal ball.
let me get that out because no one knows.
Right.
But overall, it looks like it's starting to show improvements. The rate has gone down, a percentage in the last month, to my recollection, and a lot of thinking from what I'm reading is that the Fed cuts rates in 2024, that refinance volume will go up, which is what I'm telling customers right now. Like, marry the house, date the rate.
Yes.
In the 22 years that I've been a homeowner, I've probably refinanced 4, 5, 6 times. Typically, you're going to refinance in that 3 to 5 year period. So if the Fed cuts rates, that refinance, anyone who was around the high 7s or low 8 maybe, if those get down into the low 7s or high 6s, that may be a good time to look at refinancing. But many experts believe that the rates are going to hover in the 7% range through first quarter and then go down into the 6.5 range in spring of 24, and maybe not until the 5s until 2025.
And how's the housing inventory looking out there? Because I know that's been earlier in the year was a big problem. There wasn't a lot of inventory out there.
There still isn't a lot of inventory, and right now typically is not a time that people are buying or selling.
Yeah.
Typically they put it on hold for the holidays.
Yeah.
Although, in November, that was a great month for some reason. I don't know, maybe people were just trying to get in before the holidays.
Yeah.
But typically now people are looking at, cooling off in the winter, doing some repairs or updates, and then spring is usually when we see a big surge again where people are putting their house back on the market or looking to buy them.
Sure. But yeah, just remember, marry the house, date the rate. Because if your dream house comes on the market,
Right. If you can
take
afford it now.
Yeah, do it.
Right.
Yeah, right. So, don't worry about the rate later.
Yes.
So, Stacey, how do our customers or potential customers get a hold of you if they want more information or if they want to work with you? How can they get a hold of you?
They can call the bank, 574-223-2128. They can call direct, 574-223-1782 is my direct line. I don't know Ben's number off the top of my head, but he's in Florida right now.
Yes,
So
lucky him.
Yeah, lucky him. Or they can call my cell phone, 574-847-9556. Either one of us are glad to meet you in your home, talk to you by phone, come into the office, make an appointment, whichever works for you.
How about email address?
Oh, it's really long. StaceyW@firstfederalbanking.com, or you can go to www.staceyrwilson.com.
There you go.
It's CEY with
Yes.
Stacey. There's 3 Stacey's in our bank, and we all get confused, but we all spell them differently. So
Yeah, exactly.
That's helpful.
Yeah, it is. Anything else you'd like to plug this morning?
I think one of the main things to remind customers or potential home buyers is you need to ask your bank that you're going through, do they retain their servicing? Because if they don't retain their servicing and they sell that loan over and over and over again, you're going to be sending your payments to many different places over the years. I've actually had a customer who tried to refinance and could not because one of the banks along the way closed and did not release the mortgage. And so they have to wait until that original mortgage matures plus 1 year.
Oh, that's not ideal.
Ooh.
Yes. So
Yeah.
definitely, don't look at the rate so much. Look at what that bank is offering you
Right.
and the availability after closing.
Yes.
Because if there's any issues, you want to be able to talk to a bank that will answer the phone. And we all have a small group of people in every department who have many, many years of work history in the banking industry. So
That's very well said. We pride ourselves in trying to give the best service we possibly can.
we do, and I would bet that our managers in every department probably average 20 years.
Yep. A lot of experience.
more.
A lot of experience.
Yeah, some 30 and 40 years in there.
Well, thank you, Stacey, for everything
Thank you.
do for the bank, and Happy New Year, and looking
You
forward
too.
to a great 2024.
Exactly.
All right, Paul and Stacey, you can take a crack at this too if you'd like. I
Okay.
gave you all a show to think about the trivia question, and I gotta find the darn question here.
Yeah.
How many
Give the answer.
How many versions of the Times Square New Year's Eve ball has there been to date?
What do you think, Paul?
3, 5, 7, or 9?
I don't know. I'm gonna go 5.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say, but now I feel like since you're saying 5, I'm gonna say 7.
She's the winner today.
Okay.
Ah.
7, yep. 7 times since
I'll take
1907.
PayPal, cash,
Zell.
Zelle.
Alright. We'll close with some words of wisdom here. Last words of wisdom of 2023 from former American journalist Bill Vaughn. He says, an optimist stays up until midnight to see the new year in. A pessimist stays up to make sure the old year leaves.
I like those words of wisdom. Thank you guys very much, and
Thank you.
we'll see you in 2024.
We'll see you in 2024, Paul. Thanks.
With those words of wisdom,